So, what's the one way you would wish that your family or the friends around you would have supported you in the first place, or in the first couple of years that you suffered that loss? What would you have wished they did that they didn't do, or they could have done?
One way that I think my family or my family and friends would have supported me was to prayer was really important, especially physical prayer. I mean, like calling me to pray. So I had a lot of that. There were days that were really, really bad, and I had a lot of my friends. Some of my friends who were very sensitive, they did call me. Some of my pastors did call me to really pray with me, and I was relieved. I had some people come in to visit just to talk about anything at all. So yes, coming over to talk about it, not with a large crowd. I must say, and I don't mean to sound very rude in this, but we all have children, and in this where we live, especially, the houses are kind of made of wood, and every noise they do make, it really becomes very noisy. So when people came to visit in the earlier part of my loss, when people came to visit and they came with their children, because there were a lot of people around me and they came with all the children really were making noise. They were not very quiet at all, and that really did my head, and I wasn't able to really think through it. I didn't find that very helpful at all. But some people did also come later without any children, and some came without they came with the children, but the children were more kind of quieter. So that did help a lot. And prior counseling was something that I also really needed. I mean, they did offer me counseling in the hospital, which I did take, but I felt that it wasn't enough. I just needed to talk about it, and as difficult as it was, some of my friends did avoid the whole topic very entirely because it was quite uncomfortable. So yeah, counseling and just talking about it, just a listening ear for me to just talk, was quite enough. Yeah, and especially for my husband, I think he never got the chance to have anyone to talk to about what he was going through, because he had to support me as well, and he had his own thing to go through. And yes, I thought counseling would have done him, separate counseling and then together counseling as well would have done us much good. Yes.
Wow. You as a family have been through it. Lottie, do you think you've healed? And what does the word healing mean to you?
I believe the word healing means to make whole, and both mentally, soundly, and both physically. And I believe I am healed. I believe it was a process, the grieving period, the crying period, the closure period. But one amazing thing is that it wasn't time that healed. They do say that it's time that healed, but it was more. It is still more the fact of Jesus in my life that really did a lot of healing in my life. Because after baby girl, when I was almost on my way out as well, because I was losing so much blood, and so I had to be taken into theatre as well to be operated on, not to be operated on, but to be operated on. And so I needed physical healing, and I needed emotional healing because all around me, we were about 7 friends who were all pregnant at the same time, who were due at the same time to give birth, and it was only my baby, it was only myself that I lost my baby. So I needed to be physically strong, not be mentally strong, to be able to go through christening after christening, to be able to see their children and be strong enough to go through every time, and to be able to go through the fact that every time there will be a test message to say that this one has delivered safely. And yes, sometimes you would wish that it was you, and it was quite difficult sending messages whether people were going to believe that it was really genuine, or you have to send it because you have to send it.
Understandable.
Yes, so God in my life really did help me, and my healing was really quick. I mean, the healing of my physical body was quite quick. The doctors did confirm that they've never seen such a miraculous healing done so quick within that period of time. So that was very quick, and I give all glory to God. My our mental healing, it took time. It took time because it took teaching, you know, not in our church, but we are taught when we are growing up, or we are taught as Christians, that the result of sin is death. So kind of I wanted to really find out, what is it that I have done, or what is it that my husband has done that has resulted in the death of our baby. I was just trying to find, is there anything that I have done wrong? You know, have I pleased God in any way, shape or form? So yeah, I needed to be taught into renewing my mind with the God's word, and to say that it's a fallen world. It does happen. It can happen to anyone. Mine was the fact that it was a natural cause. There was nothing wrong with me, so I needed to get it right, and I needed to also renew my mind with the fact that it's not anything that I have done wrong, and it's not. God is a good Father, and He will not take away something from me. So it all needed time for it to sink in, for me to get my faith up to that level, to know that it's not anything that you have done. You're not the only one with the only child dead, or you with the only baby, with still baby. Yeah, I just needed to get that one done. And yeah, I think my faith really did play a big role in this, because I listened to a lot of gospel and gospel music that has words of life in there. So it did speak a lot to me, and I did listen to a lot of preaching from my pastor, a lot of preaching from other pastors as well, concerning death, and the fact that yes, we will definitely go up to heaven and meet them again. I don't believe that they become angels. There is nothing in the Bible that says that people who die turns into angels. It's just that we'll see them again. I don't know what shape or form they're going to be, but yeah. So I believe that I have been healed physically, mentally. It has taken time, but I'm still healing.
That's great. That's good news. That is good news. You know, what I realize about grief sometimes is, I mean, you 1 minute, you know, you're doing really well, you're okay, you've moved on. I don't like that word, but it happens to be a word that needs to be used. You moved on, because I don't think we really get the meaning of that word. But you're coping, you're enduring, you're all right, you're getting there. And then sometimes something just triggers the pain from nowhere, and then like you're just overwhelmed, you are broken, you are in tears. So what do you find to be the most horrific, gut-wrenching, torturing or torturous part about life after the loss of a child? Or let me put it this way, what is your biggest trigger? Yes, what is your biggest trigger, and what helps you to cope with it when it hits you? Yeah, that's the right way I can put it. What helps you to cope when it hits you? What triggers the pain?
So my biggest triggers, first thing was there's only 2 years, but the anniversary of my mom and the anniversary of my baby. So both of them, I literally cease to function. No matter what I'm doing, I just become miserable. I don't know whether it's in the mind, but it's only on that day. I remember because I was young for my mom, so and I really did not know the date that she died. I can honestly tell you the truth, I didn't know. But exactly 1 year I was with someone. I did not know what came over me. All I saw, I cried from morning to evening. No joking, and I did not know the date. I cried from morning to evening. No eating, nothing. So that was how bad it was. So every anniversary, so the next day they left me to cry. The next day they called me and then they told me that, oh, it was just because we know that it's very hard for you because it's a late day, the anniversary of your mom and blah blah blah. And yeah, and I was really shocked because I did not know about it. And that applies to my baby as well. Every anniversary I really don't cry a lot, but I just spend some time alone to reflect on my life, and I'm not really able to function. I don't become miserable or make it miserable, but I just find some time to just mourn him. Yeah. And another trigger is, as I said, we're about 7 friends or 8 people who were pregnant at the same time, who would have given birth at the same due time, had the same due time as with my baby. So whenever I saw their children, or whenever I see their children now and how much they've grown, I just imagine that it would have been him if he was still alive. But yeah, that was bad in this first year. I couldn't attend anyone's birthday. I couldn't say. Yeah. But it's getting better now. I cannot say that it's completely better, but it's getting better. And the christening upon christening, because we all come to the same church, and having to go to all their christenings, I wasn't sure whether I was allowed to stay home. Yeah, but having to go to all their christenings one after the other was I wouldn't say it was a hard thing for me to do. It was, must confess, it was a hard thing for me to do, because I didn't want to sit down faking smells, and I didn't want to go to somebody's christening crying, you know. So I was with mixed emotions. I didn't know what to really do in that situation. But every single time I was going to the christening, I'll just pray to God, God, don't let me mess myself up. And it got better as the years went by.
It can only get better, darling. It can only get better. So what would you wish the world understood about the reality of being a bereaved parent? I know the hurt never goes away. It doesn't get easier, let me say, but it can get better. But what would you wish the world understood about the reality of being a bereaved parent?
Yes, being the bereaved parent in my case, and also being the bereaved child with my mom, the hurt never goes away.
The hurt never goes away.
No one can ever replace my baby. Yes. So if I'm going to have another baby, it's going to be a 4th child. You're not going to say that I only had 3 children. So yes, you get reminded every single time. I mean, there are some days that I just want to really forget, not really forget, just forget about it and let go. Oh, so my children will be asking me, so mommy, oh baby Jay died. All the time, and I realized that this is really going to stay with me forever and ever. They are never ever going to forget it. They are never going to forget it. So yes. And I still want to talk about my mom. I've never had, honestly speaking, doing this video, I just realized that I've never ever had anyone talk to me about my mom since the age of 10. They're just afraid of how it's going to be like. So no one has actually talked to me about my mom. But I would really wish, because I was still very small, even though I got to know her quite in my 10 years of life, but I would really want to talk about my mom. And I would also want to talk about my baby. I mean, we did have some lovely time together talking through the tummy and having all his brothers talk to him through me. So yeah, I just want to talk about them. It does help. It really does help in the grieving period, I tell you. The more we talk about it, that was why counseling is very, very important. The more we talk about it, we let it out. And it does help. It does really help.
What you are saying is that people shouldn't shy away from talking about the child or about the loss. They need to talk about it. That is a good point. That's a very helpful point. So what's the one question or statement you wish nobody ever asked you or said to you? What's that one thing?
One thing that I wished no one had said to me was to say to me that I shouldn't go asking God questions. I was not going to ask God questions about why me. No, I just wanted to find out, as a Christian, if there was something that I had done wrong that could be pointed to me, so that I don't get to repeat myself. I just wanted anything at all, any answers at all to help me to cope. Yeah, maybe I don't know whether it would have helped me to cope better if I was given any answers at all at the hospital as to why it happened. Yeah, so God, I mean, since I was a little girl and since my mom died, and this actually started when my mom died, because I was not given the chance, or I was not given any counseling or the chance to talk about it, I sorted to writing letters to God. So I've been writing letters to God since the age of 10, and I still do write letters to God. So I sorted to writing, and God has been the only one who's literally got my back, who's actually answered all my questions. So when I was told that you not ask God questions, I was like, that is the one thing that I have, that would, the one God that I know that will not judge me, the one God that I know that would know my feelings and what I'm really going through, that I can say anything at all that I want to say and will still be okay with me. So when I was told not to ask God questions, I was very angry. It was like I was actually fighting. Why are you telling me not to ask God questions? Yeah, but hey, it's all good. I have really, really matured out of this experience, and as I said before, it was one of the most beautiful experiences in my life, and I thank God for the privilege of knowing Him. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lordina Owusu. It's been a pleasure having you on. I have been touched by the story, and thank you for being willing to share your personal story with us, so that we will be able to understand what the reality to the bereaved parent is. Thank you so much for this privilege of sharing that story with us. And thank you all viewers for taking time to watch us. All too soon we'll be finishing our episodes on grief, and I've got something cooking up. Stay tuned and I'll be right back. Love you all. Bye. Intentional about everything in life.